Well, the project started, I think, with a question that Catherine Bigelow, our director, was asking herself, which is, what would happen if somebody were to launch a missile at the United States? And I was really lucky to get a call that she wanted to chat with me about it. I had been a journalist prior and had covered the issue, and was lucky to have contacts in the world of the military and government that I could then reach out to as we started to try to answer that question. And so, we knew that the nuclear issue, the nuclear threat was real. We knew that we were living in a precarious world, really ever since the dawn of the atomic age. But I don't think we fully appreciated it, just how perilous it is, how many weapons there are, how imperfect the safeguards are that are working against their use. And I think for all of us, it's a little tougher to sleep at night knowing what we now know, having made the movie.
I was excited to work with Catherine on whatever the project was, and then when I received the script, it's a terrific piece, and it's thoughtful and energetic and entertaining and harrowing. There's a long tradition of what if scenarios regarding the nuclear issue, starting back from On the Beach and Failsafe, up through more modern examples like The Day After and Testament and Threads and some of these great movies that ask us to consider this question. But it's been a long time since we've seen a movie on this topic, and the truth is that the world has changed, the technology has changed, a lot of the protocols have changed, and unfortunately it's dropped out of public consideration. The truth is that some of those movies, like The Day After, really, that movie actually had some sway. Public opinion can, in fact, create some sway in the halls of power, should create some sway. And so I think that one of the things I came away from this movie with was a real hope and desire that people will get on board with this issue and just ask themselves the question, is this the future I would have for myself? Maybe it becomes an issue one wants to consider when electing representatives. Look, all of these people are, we wanted to show them as human beings outside of the context of their jobs. This thing functions as pure procedural on one level, but the truth is that seeing them as human beings doing their jobs, it's really a way in for an audience. The audience is able to put themselves in that position, and again, it's just part of this very elaborate defense contraption we've built, that people man these positions. And so it's always good to remind people that there are people in these jobs. So I viewed that as my job, and watching baseball or drinking coffee or whatever it is just, a fun human element of it.
The people who work in Stratcom, the folks who hold jobs like the general that Tracy plays, they rehearse these scenarios, 400 times a year. And so one of the reasons they do that is so that if something like this were to happen, a sort of muscle memory kicks in, and they don't panic, and they don't, lose control of their faculties as most of us would if confronted with something like this, at least in theory. I mean, there are many jobs like that, right? Soldiers train with live fire so they don't panic under, in combat. Doctors drill over and over and over again. If those of us who are civilians who don't know how to do those jobs were ever to watch those folks do it, it's always amazing how calm and relaxed they seem to be. Right. And that's because they prepare for it and they train for it. It's all the actors. I mean, it's actors like Tracy who brought so many little human touches to every moment. Ordering the 8 sugars in his coffee. They all embodied these characters in such a way that, again, hopefully they didn't feel like just archetypes, general, politician, they felt like, fully inhabited humans who had wives at home and kids who wanted to stay up late watching a ball game.
I think it's the very simple question of how can we reduce the stockpile of nuclear weapons? And should one entity, a single person, be able to activate a nuclear war? Is that actually the world that we should live under? I find it insane. Absolutely insane. That's what I think. No, the story's put that way. It's not my responsibility of editing, thank God, because it would be absolutely appalling, this film. There's a narrative, there's a story, there's a script, and we follow it. And had one of the other characters been the first, then we would have told the story from another point of view. I think the story is just told in a way that it is. And I think I'm very grateful for the role, and I think what we managed to do and managed to find within these, 20 minutes of filming, it's hard. It's hard to depict and find a sense of character for an audience to relate to. But I think they managed very well. And I think the edit of this film is absolutely astoundingly good, the way that the story merges into each other. I mean, it's tricky because a question like that is sort of an overall. You have to understand as well that when we film, we're telling a story with an enormous, powerful message. But when it comes to dissecting a film, you learn lines, you go in, you do your job, you come home, and then you have dinner and you go to bed. So I'm not really analyzing the dichotomy of humanity versus this. You're in a state of filming. And you're in a state of getting the scenes done before we wrap. But what's interesting is what we're left with. And the brilliance of story making and filmmaking and the director and the DP and all the incredible actors, hopefully have evoked something that makes audiences question the world that we're in. And if single-handed people should have the power that they have.
It's like a warm embrace for me. There was Greg, there was Catherine, there was Barry. It's they're wonderful people. Anytime Catherine's put so much love and effort and thought and back and forth to get to the point now where you're walking on her set and about to bring her character to life. It's game time. This is you're a gladiator in the Colosseum. This is it. This is what you work for. These are the moments you hope to get in your career, with these kind of directors and these kind of collaborators. So, it keeps me sharp.
Yeah, it was a gift. After first time working with Catherine, and again working with the crew Jason named, and these are the best of the best, the elite of this game that we're in. And it's every day you're learning something, every day you're growing, you're getting better. And it was a gift. Is
the same as you, really. I mean, it's like there's so many things that are quite shocking and quite, oh, wow, I had no idea. Like 20 minutes, 19 minutes. I mean, like the missiles in Greeley, like the football that goes around, right. There's a process in place. Like this is turn to page 8 now.
Right.
We go downstairs.
Here's the book that the president opens up. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the wonderful thing about it. It's like, she allows us all in there to go there for real. And it's an incredible journey and an incredible story. It felt amazing and eye opening to be part of it, and then to see it and hear everyone's response is exactly what what you hope and dream a film can be. That we're all in this together, like it or not.
Yeah.
Go for it. Well, I was going to say, look, I played a few. I played Ted Kennedy. I played, Zero Dark 30. There's always a lot of good, bad, grey. Who's right, who's wrong. Where's the moral side of what's this? What are we, which side are we landing on here? But the incredible thing with this film and this story in particular is we all had very specific roles within this cog, and yet the story stripped out the good, the bad, the grey. Even it just left us with the human side of this incredible tsunami of tragedy about to unfold. And it kept unfolding and unfolding it right to you,
Mm-hmm.
And then you represent humanity walking out there at the end, there's a lot of pressure in that. But like by taking away all the ambiguity, the good and the bad, it just leaves us with really, truly, how do we feel as people about this happening and unfolding and potentially existing? That's what I took.
Yeah. It was stress. I mean, it was intense. It was intense. I mean, and it was. I mean, I wasn't necessarily watching it and saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm watching myself." Like it was more like, "Dang, like I'm watching these people. I'm watching this script come to life." Right? It was my first time getting to see the movie, get it. Like many of us didn't even meet each other on set. We met, during in Venice or today, or and so getting to see the whole thing come together and see that story on the page come to life in that way was exciting. But it took that real element to another level. It's like, dang, this like could really happen. And all of these people that are playing these characters are real people in life that do this every single day, and they're watching this movie. I want to know what they're thinking. Forget about what I'm thinking. I'm like, man, I want to know what those guys are thinking, And we had a couple people who had served come up to us after the screening in what was it, maybe in Venice or something, and they were like, that was we felt that.